matter. And I must tell you, I've enjoyed it. We have done quite a bit of programs, but we'll get to that later on. Um, Tonight we'll be talking about the lessons we would have or should have learned from COVID 19. For those of you who have been keeping in touch with the statistics, Jamaica has recorded somewhere about 586 confirmed cases of COVID since we first got the first case in March. And we're literally just trying to get back on our feet. The country is slowly beginning to reopen. We must pause, not to allow to be forgotten that there are lots of us who have faced a lot of struggles during this period. Lots of persons lost jobs. Lots of persons' businesses closed. Lots of persons had to take cuts in their salaries. And so on and so forth. A lot of things happened. But in all of this, there are some lessons that are to be learned. And tonight, our guests are going to be walking us through, and of course, we will be giving you an opportunity to share as well. We have, as our panelists tonight, joining us via Zoom, are Ashleigh-Ann Moit, journalist and CEO of Live Well Jamaica. We also are expecting to have Jody-Ann Powell. She is online, I understand, financial advisor from Sagicor. And they both will be sharing their experiences along with lessons that they have learned from COVID. Ladies, good night. Jody-Ann, are you hearing me? Well,
instant.
I'm hoping that we are able to connect with both Jody-Ann and Ashleigh-Ann in a moment. But while we get that sorted out, I just want to remind you of the number that you can call us on to participate in our program. The number is 372-8446. That's 372-8446. We will be giving you an opportunity to participate as well. We want you to share with us lessons that you have learned from COVID-19 occurring in Jamaica. It would be a sad thing. One person said, let's not waste a crisis. And I suspect we will be hearing from our panelists tonight, our guests, just exactly what impact it has had on them. Before we begin our discussions, however, and while we try to connect with our panelists, we did a vox pop in the area, and it's always interesting to hear views, live views, as to what lessons persons have learned from COVID. And we're going to be sharing that vox pop with you just about now. And I'm going to invite you to listen as we play this for you.
And so it is also on biggest, or probably I'll just split it in two. I'll say my two biggest lessons having to deal with COVID-19 has been, well, one, anything can change in an instant. Because, I was at school the day when we had our first confirmed case, and that was the last time I went to school. And since then, haven't been to school, haven't seen my friends, haven't gone to church. So it's been really different from what I'm used to. And I think two is the importance of the relationships that we have with our friends, with our family, and with our community. So those are the two lessons I've learned.
What I'm saying that we have all learned now that by nature human beings are social creatures. We depend on each other. And normally people talk about that their circle is small and they don't need no friends and so on. I know everybody's dying to get back outside and to mingle and so on. So it shows that we depend on each other for support and for our own existence.
Save, and save some more, and live life at the same time as though you're not sure about tomorrow, because in an instant everything can change. Just like that, we weren't able to be around our families, our friends, and that should teach us that life is fleeting and it is also uncertain to a point, and we must live our best life as best as possible.
What have I learned? I've learned many things, but the main thing is how quickly and how drastically our lives can change. I would have never thought that things could change in this way. There are so many things that we will never do the same, and that is what stood out most for me. during this COVID pandemic?
Yeah, Kemetic 9, and what I've learned during the COVID-19 is that don't put your health in the hands of others, because in doing so, you put your life in the hands of others. Take control of your health and don't underestimate the powers of a healthy diet. Mental is vital.
I would not say that I have learned anything per se. It's more of a reinforcement, things that would have been reinforced for me. And these include, for example, community. Community is very important. We need strong community organizations across the length and breadth of Jamaica. And that is something I think that those in authority should ensure that in every community there are strong community-based organizations. This is important because in times like these are the persons that we can look to as community members to help to mobilize and galvanize support and efforts as it relates to community relief for persons who are in need. And it also plays an integral role as it relates to liaising with local government agencies in terms of providing assistance as well. So that's one thing. Secondly, it reminds us as well that family is very important in terms of valuing time we spend with our family, not just special occasions like a party or a birthday or an anniversary or those sort of things where we see each other. And sad to say, some of us only see family when there is a death. But more importantly, as individuals, as Jamaicans, we should all seek, regardless of our status quo, seek to spend quality time with.
Okay, so there you have it. Some views of some of our listeners earlier on today. And then let me just check in to see if we have our guests online. Ashleigh-Ann Maud, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, great. That sounds so good to have you. Is Kadian, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you perfectly.
Great, lovely. Good night to both of you. How are you both? Well, let me ask you, Kadian, first. How are you?
I'm doing great. You know, I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm happy for life and everything that has happened from the years. You know, we met the top of the year, but outside of the pandemic, I'm giving God thanks for life.
Well, you know, Katie, and I remember when you came on our program the first time, on this program, you said if ever we needed you again, you'd love to be here. I always end my show by saying, be careful what you set your heart on. You might surely have it.
Well, then, I'm happy for that. And I'll continue to always set my heart over because I know that you will satisfy.
Good. Well, Ms. Mott, let me ask you, you're CEO of Live Well Jamaica. This is an interesting name for what should I call it? An association?
Well, it's a blog. It's a healthy lifestyle blog. So it's livewellja.com.
Yes.
And it's basically a platform to share positive stories and positive messages about what is happening in Jamaica and to inspire Jamaicans to live their best life.
Oh, great. Lovely. That's interesting. You both would have heard, I hope you heard the Vox Pop just now. Kaden, did you?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
All right. Let us just jump right into it. But before I get your feedback on the Vox Pop, I wanted to share a bit of an article that was written recently by Canute Thompson in the Observer. In the Gleaner, I'm sorry. So sorry, Jamaica Gleaner. His article was entitled Exploring Some Lessons from COVID-19. I'm going to share just a quick paragraph from it. It says, for me, the broad lesson from this ongoing crisis, I'm going to try and read like a real poet. A lesson we all prone to forget quickly once the crisis is over, but which we should not forget if we are wise, is that there are some things in life which are essential and some things which are not. The context in which this lesson is being forced upon the entire world is reminiscent of much of what scriptures teaches. In one of the many places where this lesson is told, and he draws a parallel here, he says, Jesus tells the parable of a man whose crops bore abundantly and who in the face of this abundance was consumed, not with how he may be of help to others, but to how he may store up the produce for his own use. According to the parable, On the said night of his self-absorbed consideration, his soul was required of him. Well, the article goes on, and he cites another story that solidifies his point. You both heard the Vox Pop. Jody-Ann, let me hear from you first. What's your take on lessons learned from COVID?
Well, based on the Vox Pop, I was quite impressed with the gentleman that mentioned health, and that health is important and you should focus on health because that's one of the key fundamentals that came out of COVID. A lot of persons really neglect how important health is, and it's up until you find that we're going through a health pandemic that they start to put certain precautions in place, or even starting to take better care of themselves, even as simple as hygiene.
Yes.
So you find that that was very impressive as one of the first things that jumped out to me, because at the end of the day, health is very fundamental for wealth.
Yes. Okay. Ashleigh-Ann?
So I agree with Jody-Ann. Health is very important, but importantly, I like to zoom into things, and I think that mental health has been brought forward as something that is very, very important. A lot of people, because of the restrictions on movement placed by the government,
Yes.
have to be at home, quarantine and all of that. And it really messed with a lot of people's mental, what should I say now, strength, right?
You don't think that was overplayed? You don't think people are putting more emphasis on that than it really actually happened?
No, man, no, because I think this is the first time. I mean, I'm young, so what I believe this is the first time Jamaica is experiencing or has experienced such a pandemic of this magnitude. And I think in addition to physical health, questions and concerns about mental health has been brought forward, because people have to be confronting with just their own spaces. Remember now, they're not free. Well,
Yes.
a few weeks ago, we weren't free to go around and engage with others as we used to, and that was for many people troubling. So I think one of the lessons that came out of this experience
Yes.
was that we really need to check up and be more cognizant of our mental health.
But could you identify any specific behavior though? I'm just asking, not to put you on the spot, but it's easy
Yes.
to say mental health. But did you see anything that you could say directly was as a result of COVID? Any sort of behavioral change? Did you pick up any sort of
All
movement?
right.
Yes.
So one of the most, what should I say now? One of the most prominent behavior that I recognize, and this is, I would say, it's a trend among young people.
Yes.
But even more so during COVID, is the excessive use of social media,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So even before COVID, young people are really engaged with social media. But now,
Yes.
being quarantined, all
Yes.
kind of stuff end up there.
Yes.
That probably shouldn't have been there. But because one, they're at home.
Yes.
Two, they feel confined.
Yes.
People just start to, in some cases, misuse it.
Some weird stuff starting to pop up, which ordinarily.
Some weird stuff start to coming up, fake information being shared.
Yes.
You understand? And
Yes.
the plethora of it.
Yes.
So not to say that it wasn't happening before, no.
Yes.
But because of, you don't check yourself. You're not
Yes.
checking yourself. You feel so...
The filters were
What should I
removed.
say? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that is one of the behaviors
That you saw.
that I saw.
All right.
Right. If I may just add to that particular point.
Yes, Kaden.
One of the behaviors that actually came out first, Ashley, I completely agree with you. Mental health is very important. And I'm so happy that you mentioned it, because especially with the fact that you made mention of us being confined to our own spaces, to our own 4 walls, 6 walls, 20 walls, depending on our individual space. A lot of persons don't spend that amount of time confined by themselves or with family or friends
Yes.
for that lengthy period of time.
Right.
Now, in my experience, one of the things that jumped out to me is depression. A lot of persons, because they're so confined, they don't have the luxury of being distracted by work
Right.
or being distracted by play, recreation, can have a drink whenever they want,
Yes.
can go to a party here and there, can just go to the beach, go across the country.
Yes.
Any type of recreational activity that gives them that freedom, that mental freedom, they can say, I let my hair down. You're now confined to the space, one.
Right.
You also, two, have to now adjust to the changes because people don't really like change.
Right.
And for a lot of persons, it's very hard to make that transition quickly.
Yes. I'll tell. Sorry. Go ahead. Finish your point.
Oh, right. So I was just saying, depression is one of the key points, in my opinion, that came out because persons are now faced with themselves and having to now deal with their own, lack of a better expression, demons, as they would call it.
Yes.
Being confined to your own solitude.
Right.
Without being distracted by the noise.
We're going to take a quick break. But Kaden, when we get back, I want you to continue. I'm going to ask you, in one of the Vox Pop respondents, somebody said, lesson learned was save. Now, I know you're a financial advisor from Sagicor, and I want you to just talk on that when we come back on the other side of this break.
No problem.
It's refreshing, it's revitalizing, and it's the epitome of music, sports, and entertainment. It's the Dudley Thompson Show on your number one community radio station, Roots 96.1 FM, on Saturdays from 6 to 8 p.m. with a wacky one, Dudley Thompson. It's the perfect blend of sports, interviews, wacky news, and of course, what's the verdict? It's the Dudley Thompson Show on your number one community radio station, Roots 96.1 FM, every Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m. Don't miss it.
You're listening to Roots of the Matter with J.R. Small on Roots 96.1 FM.
Welcome back, listeners. For those of you who are just joining us, if you're wondering what's on your radio, you're listening to Roots of the Matter. My name is J.R. Small, and we're talking tonight with Ashleigh-Ann Mowat, journalist and CEO of Live Well Jamaica, as well as Jody-Ann Powell, financial advisor from Sagicor. And tonight we're talking about lessons learned, lessons after COVID. Just what have we learned through this pandemic? Now, just before the break, I was asking you, Jody-Ann, what is your advice or what is your take on that Vox Pop respondent who said, save 3 times over?
Well, I agree. This pandemic, unfortunately, has placed persons in certain positions that know they're seeing the importance of saving. But I like to go a little beyond that. Rather than saving, I encourage my clients and anybody I speak to invest. Right? Investment allows you to, one, can put money down for the future, and two, it allows you to create an additional stream of income. So one of the lessons learned out of COVID that I have recognized, and even other persons I've encouraged, is to have multiple streams of income. But digressing back to the saving versus investing, saving is basically like putting your money under a mattress.
Yes.
You don't earn anything, and then if you end up eating in your room and drop some cheese on it, some rat might come and eat off the money, so you realize you're losing money over a period of time. Yeah. Which is what saving is.
2 or 4 foot, it don't matter.
Right. Yeah. No, investment now is like having a bucket under a dripping pipe. You don't really see the benefit immediately, but over a period of time, you realize that bucket is full or that bucket overflows.
Yes.
So that is really the importance of investing. Now, right now, a lot of persons are nervous. They're scared about investing in this type of pandemic because the market has experienced somewhat of a downturn.
Yes.
But that's basically okay, right? I like to encourage persons, don't be alarmed with that, because we experienced a recession in 2008, and a lot of persons took out their money, their investments, liquidated their investments and so on, and now they're regretting it. But the persons who are wise enough to invest more, start buying more units when the prices are low, when the market stabilizes and start to perform as how it has been performing in the past, you realize that you're earning more than you can actually dream of based on how the market has performed. So
but for I want to just butt in here and just say to you quickly, and by the way, listeners, if you're viewing us live on our Zoom and you're not seeing Ashleigh-Ann, she's there, she's hearing us, and she's still in the background. So don't think that we have lost her. It's just that for reasons that you would not know, the picture has been removed for a brief moment. Jody-Ann, what would you say to an average listener who doesn't have the stock market capability, who don't have that acumen to be buying stocks and bonds? We hear the listener say save. This is a little man on the corner that do bun and cheese. By the way, you know, like a round bun, then when you put the cheese between it, and I don't think Sky Juice make anymore. I kind of dated myself now. Bug juice. What you say to somebody like that?
All right, what I said to somebody like that is, that's okay. All you need to do is come and talk to me.
Okay.
Because even though you may not have the experience regarding stocks and bonds, you know, I pride myself in providing excellent service to my clients.
Okay.
So I will break it down to you that you will understand at the end of our conversation. And you can basically trust that once you put your money in whichever system that we create, it will perform over a period of time.
Okay.
So in layman's term, you want to save? Yes.
Okay.
We can save, but the instrument that we're going to be putting the money is not that of a savings instrument. It is that of an investment instrument that will work over a period of time.
Okay. All right. I'm going to flip over to Ashleigh-Ann now. You mentioned Live Well Jamaica as a blog. And for want of a better expression, is somewhere that you write and encourage people to read about living healthy and living well. Am I correct, Ashleigh-Ann?
Yes, you're correct.
Now, I want to hit you right in the midsection.
All right.
During this COVID pandemic, we heard a lot about relationship issues. People being in the same space for too long. What lesson came, or can you say you might have seen, that could have come out of people being together in the same space? Whether it's family, whether it's husband and wife, partners, what lessons do you think might have come out of that?
I think COVID-19 can do two things to your relationship, right? And let me not say COVID-19. How you treat COVID-19 can end up affecting your relationship in two ways. First way, it can either bring you and your partner together, or you and your family members together, or it can keep you guys totally apart. And the reason I say that, being in a space, well, as I was saying before, and what we've been discussing, being quarantined, or as them say, isolated with your family members, with your, because some people have housemates.
Well,
you have to find different ways in which to develop and build on that relationship. You have to find ways to, sometimes when you're tired of people in your space, work on conflict resolution. You don't like something that somebody did, you have to figure out a way outside of arguing and going on, because you have nowhere else to go when you argue and go on bad, as Jamaicans put it. You have to figure out how you're going to work through that amicably. Right? So I think it in terms of relationships, I think Jamaicans were forced to really figure out how they can, build on relationship skills, or as they call them relationship building skills.
I have to share this one with you. I have not shared anything that I've learned so far. one of the things I learned is to look but don't touch. Now, you might ask me what that mean, you know.
Yeah.
But growing up in the country is something that my grandmother and my mother used to say, you must learn to look but don't touch. I have grandchildren and I went to look for them and I couldn't hug them. You know? I book up friends who I haven't seen for a little while and I'm very physical. Anybody who know me for too long know that I am like the other half of the lovebird pair. I like to touch.
But look here, Jamaicans are physical people. We don't feel comfortable if we're not shaking your hand, we're not hugging you. So we understand.
Right. And so I learned that you have to just be able to say hi, see who you're seeing, who you haven't seen for a long time, and just not able to touch, you know?
Exactly. Not to cut you off, but we also learn how to communicate with each other.
Yes.
You know, we learn how to communicate in different ways with each other, and that's good because for some Jamaicans, if it is that they, as you said, if we're not using our hands or using our body parts, we feel as if we're not effectively communicating. Right? We have to be touching.
Right, we're talking Braille. As Jamaicans, we're talking Braille. You know, you're saying something and ladies especially pat on the shoulder. Men tend to hold on to a young girl's hand longer than the required time and transmit body. You know what I'm trying to say. Help me with the words.
I understand what you mean.
Right. No, I want to flip back to Kadian because I know Kadian, you are in that era, that realm of advice giving and usually financial advice. But I want to take you out of your comfort zone, Kadian. Priorities. We saw a lot of funerals that were held during this period. A lot of weddings were planned, but only 10 persons could have gone. Now, before COVID, if somebody's relative passed, and I mean, I'm not making light of it, but we felt that we had to be there. We had to go there to show us our support. But persons were not permitted to be there, and we have survived. How do you view that?
I like the fact that you started by saying priorities. What COVID has taught us or had allowed us to evolve to is to see that we don't need to have a big splash to actually accomplish the same end goal, right? Mm-hmm. Oftentimes, a lot of persons spend maybe $1.5 to $3 million on a funeral, a one event, and even more so on a wedding. I had a friend that experienced a loss, and she told me that the majority of the persons attended via Zoom. So you find that cost was significantly cut.
Yes.
Right? But the funeral still existed, and they still grieved, and they still accomplished the goal. The person was buried, and so on.
Yes.
So it actually just shows that in this day and age, there are different ways to do the same thing and accomplish the same goal without spending a lot of money, just to show face. Because a lot of Jamaicans like to, you spend this amount of money in death, but you don't really get to experience it in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
For the wedding, you don't need to have the 6 bridesmaids and the 200 people and the 5 wedding dresses and so on for just one event, and then your life afterwards, you're in debt.
Yeah. Do you think people are gonna stay? You think people are gonna stay in that zone though?
I guess only persons who are cost conservative, because a lot of persons know, in my opinion, they have actually seen the importance of having a financial plan. Yes. Because most persons have always lived their life, okay, I'm not in debt, and I earn $300,000 a month. I may put on $2,000, but they're living, they feel like they're living and they're okay because they're not in debt. But even though you're debt free, does not mean that you have a solid financial plan. What is your financial goal? What are you trying to work towards? What are you trying to achieve, whether in 3 years, 5 years? How are you able to keep yourself on a financial track if you don't know where you're going?
Yes.
So that is one of the advice that I also encourage persons to do.
Yes.
Sit with a financial advisor and create a financial plan that will help you to can identify some goals that you never thought were important, but then you don't want to wait or I don't want to say lose, but transition 5, 10, 15, 20 years out of your working life
Yes.
without accomplishing anything significant because you didn't put a plan in place.
Okay. I want to throw back this. Thanks, Kaden, for that. I want to throw back to Ashleigh-Ann, and I want to.
Yes.
You are you a family? You're a family woman, are you?
Yes, I am. I'm a mom.
You are a mom. Okay, good. Now, I saw something during the first part of COVID that I have still to try to process. When we heard of the very first case, it was as if a hurricane was coming. Everybody run to the supermarket. I mean, listen to this. I have seen many mango seasons, right? And I can't tell you if I ever see supermarket packed like I saw after March 10, right? First of all, I couldn't understand what the toilet paper have to do with COVID. I still can't figure it out. I don't know if COVID give people diarrhea. I just don't know, or if it's something to do with at home. But a lot of persons would have gone ahead and bulk purchase, for want of a better, bulk buy, thinking that COVID was gonna go away in a day or a three-day period. On our last program, ironically, just to tell you, we had a discussion about the impact of COVID, and our guest who was on the program, and I don't know if he's listening tonight, Andrew Reed, he made a point. He said, COVID is not like 4 days like a hurricane, so you can plan for it. So persons went on to shop and buy in bulk for the unknown, not knowing how long COVID is going to last. The children or the husband or the wife them or the cousin them or the guest them nyam out the food in 4 days, and they had to go back to buying. Now, having seen all of that, did you learn anything from it? Did you do any shopping yourself?
All right. One thing I do not do is panic buy. Right? I try as best as possible to do not panic buy.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest I think it was in early April.
Yes.
I decided to do one big shopping.
Yes.
Right? And then that was it. That was it. I think especially for people, Jamaicans with small children,
yes,
the panic buying really hurt them pockets, you know, man.
Yes. Oh, for Jamaicans with small, I think somebody agreeing with you there.
Yes. really hurt their pockets. And I think one of the lessons that I came out of it was that, yes, in a pandemic or in any crisis, we want to ensure that we are prepared, right?
Yes.
However, we must also be informed.
Yes. Yes.
So even though we want to ensure that our families are well prepared for the pandemic, or we are okay in terms of nutrition, we still have to keep ourselves informed as to what's necessary at the time.
So you're saying,
I mean, I've heard so many stories. People fight over tissue, bread.
Yes.
Look here.
Yeah. So one of the lessons we learn is not to panic buy.
Yes. Do not panic buy.
Right. All right. I'm not going to keep you ladies much longer. I think just for 5 more minutes. But Jody-Ann, I wanted to touch on this one before I open the lines to our listeners. And listeners, you can take this number 372-8446. After we have completed this segment with our guests, we're going to give you a chance to share your lessons. But I just wanted Jody-Ann to touch on technology. Now, we saw an explosion. I mean, tonight we are employing some of that technology, which was already here, but is now commonplace. I mean, everybody who would never hear the term Zoom used for showing pictures. Because when we say Zoom one time, is when something go quick. Zoom pass way, or Zoom and the man gone. Now Zoom, everybody's using Zoom or some other platform to have meetings and so on. There has been an explosion of technology. Is there any lesson here? Jody-Ann?
Yes. In my opinion, there's a great lesson here, because what it's showing us is that we have been underutilizing technology prior to COVID.
Yes.
A lot of persons insisted on physical meetings or in-person activities when you can accomplish the same goals by utilizing digital mechanism and increasing efficiency.
Yes.
So for persons who are efficient free, who want to ensure that they can capitalize the most of every second in every day,
Yes.
technology has allowed us to do that. You mentioned Zoom. Zoom has allowed us to have meetings with up to 100 people all across the world
Right.
for many hours at
Yes.
no cost, right?
Yes.
So technology is allowing us to cut costs, and then in cutting costs, we can now redirect that money into systems that can help us to achieve more earnings over a period of time.
Yes.
You know, and even going into social media. Social
Yes.
media in itself was always there.
Yes.
But what this pandemic has allowed us to do is get creative. A lot
Yes.
of persons have lost their job.
Yes.
And when you're a parent, you can look at that child and say, well, you know, mommy lose their job, so I have nothing to feed you. No, we're going out there, we're getting creative.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
we are confined into our space, but we have this digital mechanism and we have internet at home.
Yes.
You have persons who are creating different videos, they're exercising YouTube, they're manipulating the exposure of Instagram and Facebook to use those platforms to earn.
Yes.
And to me, it's phenomenal because these platforms are already there. They were always there.
But just
But
underutilized.
without having the
COVID.
challenge of knowing what's next,
Yes.
it now has encouraged us to be creative.
Okay.
And know how to use our digital mechanisms in ways that we never thought of.
Quite a bit of learning there. Well, ladies, we have 3 minutes left. Ashleigh, I'm gonna give you a minute just to say, just to wrap up anything you choose to say as it relates to the impact of COVID in terms of what we have learned.
Okay, I just wanted to say, having listened to what Jody-Ann just said, look here, Jamaican employers need to continue to get with the times and see how best they can expound on the remote work and the work from home.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
COVID has proven to us that many work duties don't necessarily have to be conducted in a physical office. Right?
Yes, yes.
So
that's an interesting point.
Just bear that in mind as we proceed, because whether we like it or not, the virus isn't gone completely. This is the new normal, and for us to survive after COVID, we have to employ and be willing to employ new strategies to earn.
Beautiful. All right, Jody-Ann, you want to give me your 30-second wrap-up? 30 seconds.
Right. Right. So my wrap-up basically is just to encourage persons to utilize this time to get creative.
Yes.
Don't be disheartened with all the negatives. Just try to focus on the positive and be creative.
I think
Additionally, invest. And if you need assistance to invest, you can always follow me on Instagram. Connect with Jody-Ann. Kadian.
The Jody-Ann, the money lady, right?
Oh, I like that. Jody-Ann, the money lady.
I'm not sure all my male friends would necessarily jump at the sound of that, but I do understand. Thanks, ladies. Ashleigh-Ann Maud, journalist and CEO of Live Well Jamaica, as well as Jody-Ann Powell, financial advisor from Sagicor.